How is it going, guys? I'm here with another review of a game that caught my eye. The game we are talking about is Scars Above. Scars Above is a sci-fi third-person action-adventure shooter that was released the 28th of February 2023 and was developed by Madhead Games and published by Prime Matter. The game was released on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series SX, and Xbox One, and this review is on the PC version. As usual, I will do an introduction of the beginning of the story for people that have yet played the game. If you're one of those that don't want it spoiled, I suggest you skip to this timestamp down below. The game begins with a strange alien object appearing over Earth. Humanity assembles a crew called Scars to travel and explore the unidentified object. As we approach the object, all power systems shuts down in the ship and we are slowly getting pulled towards the object. Then we are somehow teleported to a different world. We wake up, and this is where our story begins. The looks of the game is okay, and I'm not one of those people that must have the best looking game in the world to like it, but it felt like a lot of things were rough on the edges. It felt like the graphics were from early 2010 games, which doesn't have to mean that the game is bad, but for me personally, I wasn't impressed by the visuals in this game. But what I will say is this: just because a game doesn't have the visual standards of other games released at the same time period doesn't mean that the game is bad. And when I see a game like this, I'm thinking the gameplay and story must be amazing since they did not focus only on looks and visuals. And it feels like I was playing Mass Effect 1, which is one of my all-time favorite games. And we also gotta remember that this is Madhead Games' first game in this style, and it's a big jump for an indie studio that mainly focuses on point-and-click games. When it comes to the audio in the game, the first thing I will say is that they nailed the music in this game. The music fits the sci-fi environment, and I couldn't resist the feeling of when I first experienced Mass Effect 1. The music isn't as good as Mass Effect, but they are definitely on the right track, and the voiceovers are crisp and well made. Right off the bat, you can feel that the animation and character models are a little bit janky, making it feel like a game from the early 2010, which is a little unfortunate, but as I said before, this is Madhead Games' first game in this style. Movement animation, jumping over obstacles, or dodging feel outdated and kind of disrupt the movement flow that we are used to. The lip sync of the game sometimes feel like a badly dubbed movie, and face reactions are almost non-existent. Even if this is the developer's first attempt at a third-person shooter game, I feel like this is something they should have worked on a little bit more. So how is the gameplay in Scars Above? It is a bit janky and it feels outdated at points, but it is also interesting at certain points. Instead of being a generic lookalike of another game, it feels like they nailed it on making this game stand on its own 2 feet. Sure, the game has flaws and it's a little bit rough on the edges, but I enjoyed seeing some new mechanics being used in this game. When we talk about combat in this game, we gotta remember that the protagonist isn't a soldier, and therefore the game won't use the usual way of fighting off enemies. Instead, this game focuses on a knowledge is power kind of combat. As you play, you will discover different plans, objects, and alien enemies that you can scan to find weak points. As you do, this will get you experience points that you can use in a skill tree that will enhance different abilities for the protagonist, like more health or different resistances the planet and enemies will use against you. You will also be able to upgrade tools and find new weapons that vary from shock, fire, ice, and poison damage. All these will come in handy as every enemy has some kind of weak point and will take more damage when used against them. The game also presents combat in a way that surprised me a little. When facing bosses, instead of having a bullet sponge enemy that will take forever to kill, instead we use the environment to weaken our enemy and then deal damage. Unfortunately, this only happens once in the game, which is a little sad. We also have a melee attack, but I used that very rarely since I didn't feel that it had that much impact on the enemies. At certain points in the game, we get to analyze different things on this planet, and I really enjoyed how they did this. When analyzing, we sometimes got a tool to help us move along in the game, or just story bits that helped us understand what's going on. I also loved the detective interface when scanning different wildlife. It really felt like a fresh mechanic. I think that the story holds its own, but you do anticipate pretty soon what the game will offer in the story. But I do think that the pacing is well done. It took me about 6 hours to finish the game, and I think the game was long enough. One thing that I need to mention is that I didn't have any issues with the performance in this game. Everything runs smoothly except for some invisible walls here and there, but that I can accept if it doesn't happen too often, which it didn't. To finish this off, I have to say that this game was a mix for me. The thing I enjoyed happened much less than I wanted it to, and the things I didn't enjoy were all over the place. I don't think this is a bad game, but I think that this game might not be something for me. At the end, I just wanted to be done with the game, but this doesn't mean that I think it was not a worthwhile experience. I try to judge a game for what it is and not put too much of my expectations in my reviews, since I believe that doing a review solely on expectation doesn't seem fair. I'm trying to bring out the bad things and the good things in games that I experience. My final verdict for Scars Above will be a 7 out of 10. It's an average game with a few interesting mechanics, but too few in my opinion. I kinda wanna say that it could be a diamond in the rough. But I guess we'll see if Madhead Games release more games in this style. So is Scars Above worth your time and money? It depends a lot on what kind of gamer you are. If you like games that look a little older or that are rough on the edges, this is a game for you. But if you like games that are more action-based with all the newest graphical settings, this is probably not a game for you. I would probably wait until the game is on sale if you are unsure how you would feel about the game. But what I will say is this. It is nice that for once have a game being released that actually works and doesn't crash multiple times. Even if it's a little bit janky, it's still a finished game. We have seen so many AAA games playing like an early access and still having a whooping €59 price. It's nice to see new companies try different things, and at the start, it might not be flawless, but as they progress, they might be able to release an epic game. What did you guys think of Scars Above? Comments down below. Would really like to see what people thought about this game. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Other than that, have a great night, day, evening, whatever time it is at your place, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya!